a thief in the night. Hallelujah, brother, it won't be long. Saints are waiting, marching around the throne. I'll rise above these earthly chains that hold me to the ground. Yeah, I'm leaving glory bound. Is your reservation bought by the blood? And there's no need to fear. We're headed to the land where the master's hand will wipe away every tear. There's no power gonna hold him back. The day is almost here. The day when the Lord appears. Oh, hallelujah, brother, it won't be long. Saints are waiting, marching around the throne. I'll rise above these earthly chains that hold me to the ground.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. At least one person died Sunday night after strong storms and possible tornadoes moved through the Piedmont Triad area. The severe weather damaged homes, knocked down trees and electricity poles, and blew off roofs across Forsyth, Rockingham, Gilbert, Alamance, and Randolph counties. This man tells WXII News about his neighbors.
They said they just told their family to go inside the restroom, but they felt the house being lifted up off the ground. They felt the pressure of the wind coming through the windows. I'm thinking like, I didn't even know something like this would happen in Greensboro. You can't picture this happening.
Former FBI Director James Comey is letting loose 11 months after his unceremonious firing by President Trump. Comey appears to be punching back in his first televised interview on ABC. Comey says after his initial meeting with President-elect Trump, in which he discussed purported evidence of Mr. Trump's prior activities in Russia, Comey took notes for himself of the meeting. Comey was asked why he did not tell Mr. Trump the origins of the evidence.
No, I didn't even think I used the term Steele dossier. I just talked about additional material.
But did he have a right to know that?
That had been financed by his political opponents? I don't know the answer to that.
If you're an online shopper, you'll want to pay attention to a case before the U.S. Supreme Court this week. CBS News' Diane King Hall says the issue is online sales tax.
If a business is shipping to a state where it does not have a physical presence, like an office or warehouse, it doesn't have to collect the state's sales tax. More than 40 states are asking the Supreme Court to reconsider that rule.
Crews responded to the scene where a body was found near Wilmington on Sunday morning. The body was identified as Justin Stroop, who was reported missing on Wednesday. Local activists and organizations held a press conference in Asheville over the weekend to brief media and the community about the ICE attacks on Latino communities. The conference was on Saturday at the Federal Building. You're listening to NCN News.
How can we meet the aspirations of 10 million North Carolinians? At the University of North Carolina System, we do it by harnessing the strength of 17 transformative institutions working towards a unified goal, prosperity for all. Today, the system is united as never before. 17 institutions, individually remarkable and collectively extraordinary. This is the University of North Carolina System.
Who is the North Carolina High School Athletic Association?
We're dedicated educators, coaches, and mentors.
We are over 200,000 student athletes.
We are 413 member high schools from small towns and big cities, anywhere from Murphy to Manteo.
We're your neighbors and friends that put on the striped shirts and officiate the games you love every week.
We are making a difference in building leaders of communities and this nation for the next generation.
Who are we? We are high school. We are the NCHSAA.
The U.S. is expected to impose a new round of sanctions against Russia today.
UN Ambassador Nikki Haley telling CBS's Face the Nation that Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin will likely announce the new sanctions today over Moscow's continued support for Syria's president.
They will go directly to any sort of companies that were dealing with equipment related to Assad and chemical weapons.
And though President Trump has tweeted mission accomplished over the joint airstrikes on suspected chemical weapons sites, Haley says U.S. troops will remain in in Syria for now.
More is needed to boost the health of those in the state's 80 rural counties. That view from Patrick Woody, who directs the North Carolina Rural Center.
By any measure you really want to look at, our rural citizens are less healthy than their urban and suburban counterparts.
Former U.S. Senator Kay Hagan's family accepted honors on her behalf at a North Carolina Democratic Party event because she was hospitalized with pneumonia. Hagan had planned to attend Saturday night's annual Democratic Unity Dinner in Raleigh. At least 3 visitors to a private zoo in North Carolina are receiving emergency treatment after a large tree toppled in windy conditions onto a passing sightseeing wagon. It happened Saturday afternoon at Zootastic Park near Troutman, about 40 miles north of Charlotte. A man who developed his acting chops on the battlefield has died.
What is your major malfunction?
He was a real-life Marine for 11 years who went on to become a Hollywood star.
From now on, you will speak only when spoken to, and the first and last words out of your filthy sewers will be, sir. Do you maggots understand that?
Arlie Ermey, who played tough-talking gunnery Sergeant Hartman in Full Metal Jacket, has died. He also had roles in Apocalypse Now, the remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he played the toy green soldier in Toy Story. Ermey was 74, suffering from complications.
After the Rush Limbaugh Show, stay tuned for the best variety of music, hosted by Tom Green, right here on AM 590.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The man fired by President Trump from the FBI doesn't think that the president should even be in the White House.
I don't think he's medically unfit to be president. I think he's morally unfit to be president.
James Comey speaking to ABC News for the first time since being fired. ABC's George Stephanopoulos asking him about the meeting where Comey says Trump asked him to end the investigation into Trump's first national security advisor, Michael Flynn.
Was President Trump obstructing justice?
Possibly. I mean, it's certainly some evidence of obstruction of justice.
But Comey says he doesn't think impeachment is the way to go.
People in this country need to stand up and go to the voting booth and vote their values. And so impeachment, in a way, would short-circuit that.
The president tweeting over the weekend calling Comey a liar and a leaker. His new book, A Higher Loyalty, comes out this week. President Trump's personal attorney is expected to be back in court today.
Citing attorney-client privilege, Michael Cohen is trying to convince a judge to let him review the files seized last week before federal prosecutors get to read them. The raids were part of a months-long investigation led by public corruption prosecutors here who had already secretly obtained Cohen's email. The judge was irritated Cohen wasn't in court Friday and ordered him to appear to answer questions about his law practice. Prosecutors doubt Cohen has a law practice. They argued he has no clients other than Mr. Trump, for whom they said he is more fixer than lawyer. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
The U.S. today is set to put new sanctions in place against Russia after the suspected chemical attack in a Damascus suburb.
Chemicals once used to hit civilians, now themselves the target. And yet, a week since that incident, and still chemical inspectors wait to begin their work, meeting with Syria's deputy foreign minister at their Damascus hotel. The site of that suspected chemical attack still a no-go zone.
ABC's James Longman reporting from Beirut. You're listening to ABC News.
Want to add 3 more days to your weekend? Then get on board a free luxury cruise today. Your dream destination, meals, and adventure are all included free when you buy the book 5-Day Weekend. Why is New York Times bestselling author Garrett Gunderson and Nick Halig giving away thousands of luxury cruise tickets? Simple. They've created an online community they want you to benefit from. No, you don't have to read the book or join the community to enjoy your free cruise. Use the ticket when you want, how you want, and with who you want. They're confident after you apply just 3 of their 16 proven wealth-building strategies in the book, you'll improve your cash flow in just 30 days, so you'll join the online 5DW community. That's why the authors can afford to be generous and give you a luxury cruise ticket at their expense. Call 1-800-256-3178, 1-800-256-3178. Buy a copy of 5-Day Weekend and you'll get a free 3-day cruise ticket for processing and tax. That's 1-800-256-3178 or log on to cruisenow.info. That's cruisenow.info. Cruisenow.info.
Former First Lady Barbara Bush, in failing health, is home in Houston, saying she no longer wants any more medical treatment. Instead, the family says she'll focus on comfort care and is being surrounded by her family. Kentucky's governor is now apologizing after some harsh words about striking teachers.
Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin's comments Friday about teachers staging a walkout sounded to many like he believed teachers were exposing some students to child abuse.
As surely as we're having this conversation, children were harmed, some physically, some sexually,
Some were introduced to drugs for the first time because they were vulnerable and left alone.
By Sunday, an online petition and more than 5,000 signatures later.
I apologize for those who have been hurt by the things that were said. Was not my intent whatsoever.
Saying many misunderstood what he was trying to communicate. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Violent weather has hit several parts of the country, spawning tornadoes in several states, one hitting Greensboro, North Carolina. Jim Westermoreland is the Greensboro city manager.
Our 911 communicator director reports that we received over 1,000 calls between 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. from citizens reporting issues involving the storm event and different things associated with it.
Those storms pushing on the East Coast this morning. New retail sales data out today could show a drop in shopping last month. Some experts say those numbers could be pushed down by the nasty winter weather across much of the country. This is ABC News.
Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000 in taxes? The government now has tax debt relief programs in place, and you have rights. Call tax representation today. Has the IRS threatened to freeze your bank accounts, take your home, your cars, and garnish your wage? We are the industry experts with negotiating with the IRS, and one of the very few that has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. We'll contact the IRS the same day, putting a stop to bank levies and wage garnishments. Call 800-295-1046. That's 800-295-1046.
I'm Michelle Franzen.
Well, with springtime here, head on over to Oakland Feed and Seed for the things you need. Things like grass seed and garden seed, 10-10-10 fertilizer and 17-17-17 fertilizer. Oakland Feed and Seed carries Kentucky 31 and Rebel Turf and 5-star blend grass seed. That'll look good, won't it? They'll weigh up garden seed by the ounce or by the pound. How much do you need? They'll weigh up grass seed by the pound. Whatever your needs are, Scott and his team at Oakland Feed and Seed will try their best to do it for you. Need strong weed killer? Get it by the quart, gallon, and this kills all. 2.5 gallons is only $49.99. Get rid of them quick. That fish box, 100 count, $19.99. Why don't you come check Oakland Feed and Seed out and check prices? All your animal health needs, from dog shots to wormers. And don't forget to pick up some fire ant control, too. They have what you need at Oakland Feed and Seed, Oakland Road, Spindale, locally owned and locally run.
We'll have a slight chance of some drizzle or a light shower in spots early on today. Otherwise, we'll range between mostly cloudy and partly sunny. It'll be breezy, cooler, and less humid behind last night's cold front. We'll look for highs around 55 to 60. Tonight, some patchy evening cloudiness and maybe a very isolated sprinkle. After that, mostly clear and cold with lows in the low to mid-30s. Look for lots of sunshine Tuesday. A few fair weather clouds, breezy and mild. Highs 63 to 68. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Well, we have a calm after the storm this morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's such a nice, beautiful, great getting up morning. 42 degrees, and we're warming up to about 55 and partly cloudy throughout today. But we had a lot of heavy rain yesterday, a lot of wind, and there was some power outages in the upstate and maybe some around here as well. We'll find out from our reporters in just a few minutes the damage and the immediate area that we had yesterday. But we've had probably 3 to 4 inches of rain. We'll find out more from that later on. Right now, though, it's going to be nice today, most of the week. Rain returns to the forecast next Sunday. Now I have these death announcements this morning. Mary Sue Mathis Wall, 82, of Forest City, died Saturday, April 14th at St. Luke's Hospital in Columbus. The arrangements are incomplete, and the Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory will be in charge of those and announce those when they are available. Mary Sue Mathis Wall. Pearl Virginia Whittemore, age 91, of Forest City, died Thursday, April 5th at Fairhaven of Forest City. A graveside service will be held at Eternal Hills Memorial Park, 11 o'clock, May 5th. Family will greet friends graveside after the service. Mike Mohan's funeral home and cremation services in charge of the arrangements for Pearl Virginia Whittemore. Pearl Lawrence of Rutherfordton died Sunday, April 15th. At Rutherford Regional Medical Center, funeral arrangements are incomplete and will be announced later by Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory for Pearl Lawrence. Mrs. Dorothy Newton, 96, of Golden Valley, died Sunday, April 15th at Fairhaven Home of Bostic. Those arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service for Mrs. Dorothy Newton of Golden Valley. Billy Layton, age 43, of Bostic, died Friday at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. A memorial service will be conducted at 4 o'clock today at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Billy Layden. Modine Roberts Millard Vess, age 89 of Bostic, passed away Thursday, April 12th at Fairhaven, Forest City. Online condolences may be made at crowmortuary.com. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Modine Roberts Millard. The funeral was held yesterday. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. You can get complete information on these as they become available to us this morning at 11:30 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report, or you can contact the websites of each respective funeral homes and they'll have that information available as it becomes available. Well, we had a lot of rainouts and postponements in the world of sports over the weekend. The Food City 500 did not get to finish. They will finish today. And the Braves-Cubs game was postponed due to all the weather conditions. We'll find out more about when those games are going to be completed. Now, on Saturday, Ryan Pierce won the Fitzgerald Glider Kits 300 race. Friday, the Braves beat the Cubs 4-0. And the Braves will be playing against the Phillies this evening at 6:20 showtime. We'll join that pregame following News 13 at 6.
Mexico's President Enrique Peña Nieto has ordered a full review of Mexico's cooperation with the United States. Nieto is unhappy with President Trump's immigration policies. He's frustrated with Trump's supposedly negative attitude toward Mexico. The review is expected to take a few weeks. Mexico's foreign minister is warning us that isn't just a lot of talk. They're serious about it, and there'll be real consequences ahead. Now, I can't wait to see what some of these consequences are. Mexico allows thousands of illegal immigrants from Central America to caravan through their country with the stated goal of crossing into our country illegally. So where is this cooperation they keep talking about? Mexico not only allows, but encourages thousands upon thousands of its own citizens, primarily poor, to cross our border illegally, in some cases many times. Where is this cooperation they talk about? Mexico does very little to help share the cost of providing benefits to the millions of Mexican citizens who already live here illegally. So where is this cooperation? Yeah, I can't wait to see what even less cooperation from the Mexican government would actually look like. And I know you can't either, but we're going to keep a sharp eye for it. And when we see the less cooperation, we'll be sure and flag it and let you know. Today's technology makes things easier because everything's connected. Your cell phone, your tablet, even your smart TV, all connected to one account. And they're all connected to your Wi-Fi. It only takes just one weak link for a cyber thug criminal to break in and obtain your data. And that's why the new LifeLock Identity Theft Protection now adds the power of Norton Security to your devices. Now, while LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect threats to your identity, the addition of Norton Security helps protect up to 5 of your devices from online threats. And if there's a problem, LifeLock's agents will work to fix it. Now, of course, no one can prevent all identity theft or cybercrime or monitor all transactions in all businesses. But new LifeLock with Norton gives you more protection for today's connected world. Join now, get 10% off your first year. Go online to LifeLock.com and enter the promo code RUSH. That's LifeLock.com. Remember, promo code RUSH.
WCAB has been serving the community with family-friendly radio programming for 50 years. Thank you, Rutherford County, for making WCAB your radio station of choice. Turn it up. WCAB 590 Rutherfordton.
It's time to recognize the administrative assistants in your office, and we can help you do that. Just send us the name of your administrative assistant, and we'll do the rest. Send her name on your company letterhead via fax to WCAB at 828-287-7182, or email it to us at WCAB at nctv.com. We'll have a drawing on April the 25th on the morning show, and the selected 10 will be invited to go to lunch with Jim at Don's Italian Restaurant on Friday, April the 27th. 7th. We'll supply a good meal, give away some prizes, give them the recognition on your behalf, and have them back to work in no time. So get your nomination in today. The name of the administrative assistant on your company letterhead, fax to 828-287-7182, or email to wcab@nctv.com. The name of the company they work for, or you can bring it to us here at 191 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton. Come on, boss. She's counting on you.
Your car only needs one place to prepare for the cooler months ahead. RS Speedy Lube, Railroad Avenue, Ruth. RS Express Inspection Station can get you back on the road and keep you legal. RS Speedy Lube Station has 2 lanes to get you in and out in no time. They carry wiper blades and will rotate your tires. Complete car care altogether, including transmission flush and car wash. Count on Chris and his team to take care of all your car needs. Make it your first stop. RS Speedy Lube Service Center, Railroad Avenue in Ruth.
You know, I think some of the reasons Southern Carpet has done so well over the years is they know how to take care of their customers. They know how to give customer service like you would want to be given. And over the years, they've done so well, offering quality material, workmanship, above-board integrity, all transactions, honest, fair deals. They have a wide inventory of beautiful carpet and floor covering that will fit just right in your home and just fit right with your budget. Talk with them about it before you do anything else, anywhere else. Talk to the home folks. Talk to Southern Carpet. 1512 West Main Street, right across the North State Gas Company, and you'll find them on the web also at southerncarpet.net.
In July of 1881, Pat Garrett killed Billy the Kid. Garrett got some notoriety from the killing, both good and bad, hoping to overcome the bad by justifying the killing and build on the good to the point of a possible political career. On April 17, 1881, Garrett published a book entitled An Authentic Life of Billy the Kid. Although Garrett's name was on the book, the author was probably Ash Upston, a clerical deputy for Garrett when he was the sheriff of Lincoln County. At the time, as today, Americans were hungry to read about ruthless desperados, and the book about Billy the Kid filled that need. Unfortunately, Upston knew little about Billy the Kid's early life, so he filled in the holes by making things up. Billy the Kid was portrayed as a cold-blooded killer who took 21 lives. In actuality, it was probably less than 10. Of course, killing less than 10 men is still a lot of killing. Atrocities during the Lincoln County War were numerous on both sides, but in Garrett's book, Billy the Kid was portrayed as a brutal killer and Garrett a hero who single-handedly ended the kid's life of destruction. Unfortunately for Garrett, the book was largely responsible for Billy the Kid gaining the fame he has even to this day. Novelists in the film industry used the stories in Garrett's book and even embellished them. On the other hand, it did nothing to help Garrett's career. Incidentally, today, Garrett's book has been discredited as primarily fiction, but that hasn't changed the legend of Billy the Kid. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Well, it's a good morning time of 17 past 7 o'clock on this Monday morning. And we go to the phones now to get started to find out what's been happening around the community the past 48 hours or so. And Officer Arnett is with us from the Sheriff's Department to get things started. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. Tell us what went on over the weekend.
Okay. Last 48 hours, Sheriff's Office has had 212 calls for service, 15 arrests, and there's currently 167 in the detention facility. For incident reports, we have a Dawn Wilson, who's reported a larceny of a motor vehicle, a Dustin Craig, breaking and entering a motor vehicle, Marie Hill, assault on a female, Sean Wright, misdemeanor larceny, Thomas Wilson, breaking and entering a motor vehicle, Linda White, misdemeanor larceny. For arrest, we have Robbie Cox, who's been arrested for possession of methamphetamine. Thomas Green, possession of controlled substance in a jail or prison. Brianna Lynch, assault with a deadly weapon. Cecil Butler, breaker entering a motor vehicle. Jeffrey Buter, failure to appear. Cantera Trejo, assault on a female. Christian Lynch, assault and battery. Dominique Valentine, possession of a stolen vehicle, larceny of motor vehicle, injury to real property. Reuben Brahens, voluntary violation of domestic protection order. Sorry about that. Misty Atkins, school attendance violation. And Tori Hines, injury to personal property. And that's it.
Officer Arnett, thank you so very much for that report on this Monday morning. Now, you be safe out there today.
Yes, sir. You have a good day.
Thanks. See you now. 19 past the hour here on WCAB's Morning Call Around Report.
It's time for you to test drive the affordable, fuel-efficient Ford Fusion from Sisk Family Ford in Forest City. Family-owned Sisk Ford can put you into the car you want with a payment plan you can appreciate. If it's a truck you want, get the Ford truck that's breaking records in sales. Ask about why the sales department is being bragged on with each and every sale that they make. They love your business at Sisk Family Ford, and it shows. New and used automobiles and an award-winning service department makes Sisk Family Ford the choice for so many. Step up to Ford today. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Here's Jessica now with the report for us from the Communications Center. Jessica, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on the report from the weekend?
In the past 48 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 713 911 calls and administrative calls, which consist of 61 EMS calls, 28 for rescues. Law Enforcement Sheriff's Office responded to 212, Forest City 121, Lake Lord 13, Rutherford 55, Spindale 164. Fire calls, Bostic responded to a vehicle accident, Rutherford responded to a vehicle accident, SDO responded to 2 vehicle accidents, and Spindale responded to a vehicle accident. And that's all we've got today.
Any reports of any trees being downed over the storm from the storm yesterday?
Just a few this morning.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye. 21 after 7. It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide daycare services for an aging parent or loved one. Rutherford Life Care can be just what you're looking for. Rutherford Life Care offers adults a safe and fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. Call them today and let them answer questions you may have. That's 288-1697, 288-1697. Rutherford Life offers a staff of professionals who show the love and compassion that you entrust your loved ones to. That's Rutherford Life Care Services, located on Thunder Road, Spindale. Again, that phone number is 288-1697. Let's check in now with Ruby Taylor over in Danieltown, SDO Department. Tell us what's been going on, Ruby. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, the fire department had one call, but I didn't catch what it was. I was in the other room, and I didn't catch what it was on the scanner. And on my birthday calendar today, I got Josh Boone and Jeremy Boone, and they're not twins, but they're brothers. And hope they have a nice day. And the signs are in the neck today and tomorrow. And that's all I got, Jim.
All right, Ruby, thanks. You have a great day now.
You too.
Bye. Well, Miracle-Ear is one of those companies that you can feel good about if you are to the point in your life. There are many features you will appreciate about Miracle-Ear. If you want better hearing, just go by, have that free hearing test. The high-def quality adapts to your surroundings automatically, zeroes in on conversation while reducing distracting background noise. It prevents those embarrassing whistling noises that occur sometimes. Check with Miracle Ear if it's the time in your life you feel like you need something better. Maybe it's time for Miracle Ear. Forest City office is 1512 West Main Street, Suite 102. That phone number is 828-368-4126.
I told my friend about Olmsted Plumbing, and boy, was she happy.
What did she have to say?
I told her to call 245-7302, and they would get right out there.
And did she say she would
I told her to ask around. Homeowners, builders, and everybody likes Olmsted. Eric and Chad Olmsted and their team understand the homeowners' needs, and I like that.
They have an inventory of replacement parts and specialized equipment and tools for any job.
I told her that, too.
Well, what was that number again?
245-7302. That's 245.
Yeah, I got it. 245-7302. Olmsted Plumbing. Here's Steve now up in Rumbling Ball, overlooking beautiful Lake Lure this morning. Steve, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Jim. It's a quite blustery morning this morning. 46 degrees. We got 3 1/3 inches of rain yesterday.
There's a lot of rain.
That's a lot of rain, and our rarely pictured waterfalls flowing this morning on Ball Mountain. Whenever we get a couple inches of rain or more, that waterfall usually goes into progress. So we got that going on this morning. On the way to work, there were a lot of places where trees were removed from the road.
Yeah.
So if you're traveling down any of these side streets, you might want to slow it up a little bit because you may find some trees in the road if nobody's reported them yet. I'm sure there's a lot out there to be found.
I'm sure we'll get more reports throughout the day today because people run up on those areas where the trees are still out there.
Yes, sir. I fully expect that. And our grounds and maintenance crews are going to be pretty busy today. So over the weekend, we don't have any reports of anything except a few tree removals that were quickly removed when they were reported. So other than that, it's just an average weekend. But got a little bit of cold weather tomorrow, and I think we're probably done with for the season on that cold stuff. And
I'm ready for it to move on out of the way now.
I think so too. I'm right with you.
Well, there was quite a few severe storms. Yes, they blew down a lot of trees around the Charlotte and in the upstate area. Caused airport delays and knocked out power to tens of thousands of homes in North and South Carolina. Fortunately, we didn't get any of that, I don't think. About 75,000 homes and businesses were without power in the late afternoon around the Charlotte and upstate South Carolina. Duke Energy said about 43,000 customers lacked power in North Carolina and another 9,000 in South Carolina. South Carolina Electric and Gas Company reported 23,000 customers without power in South Carolina. The airport in Charlotte said on Twitter Sunday that severe weather caused a ground stop and forced air traffic controllers to leave their tower. The ground stop was later lifted. So it was pretty severe around that area yesterday.
Sounds like we came out a lot better than they did.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
usually we do have some issues with our power because we got a lot of power lines. They're not in ground on the mountain up there, and they usually get hit pretty good. But this time we came out okay.
I'm glad.
Yes, sir.
Steve, you have a wonderful Monday, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, Jim.
Thanks. Bye.
See you.
Well, it may be the kind of thing you enjoy doing. Some folks feel compelled to do it. Other folks wish they could do it. But whatever the situation happens to be, you've got a friend at Henson Building Materials that can help you. If you're looking around doing some new kitchen cabinets, need some new kitchen cabinets, bring your ideas over to Henson Building Materials. Tell them what you're looking for, what kind of dream you have in the kitchen, and let them help you. What a variety of choices they have, and with expert help to go with it. You're looking to change some light fixtures, bring your ideas to Henson Building Material. They have beautiful varieties and expert help to go with it. If you're a do-it-yourselfer kind of person, good for you. You need Henson Building Materials professionals to offer you suggestions and help along the way. If you're a professional contractor, you need Henson Building Materials to get to you the best materials out there at the best price. The folks at Henson take a lot of pride in their showroom design center, and they love to help you decide what's best for your home and your budget. Not only should you compare prices, but compare quality before you buy. You get quick in-and-out, hassle-free service at Henson's. And listen, they got it in stock. If they don't have it, they can sure better get it for you. They keep a full supply of shingles, full variety of paints, water heaters, and so much more. Henson Building Material, more than just a lumber yard. Check with them. Duke Street, Forest City, 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, 8 to 12 on Saturday. Did you know that Rutherford County's largest pediatrics practice has 5 providers to serve the children and youth of this area? And even better, Rutherford Children's Care is welcoming new patients. With 3 physicians and 2 mid-level providers, the group is available to examine, diagnose, and treat patients from birth to age 18. Rutherford Children's Care is conveniently located at 162 Commercial Drive in Forest City, just behind Big Dave's Restaurant. To schedule an appointment, call Rutherford Children's Care at 828-287-9325. Now, Bob Hodge is up next. He's reporting to us from the Hudlow Fire District. Bob, good morning.
Well, good morning.
You feeling good today?
Oh, doing pretty good this morning. Hope you are.
I am indeed. You survived all that wind and rain yesterday, I gather.
I tell you what, it looks much better this morning, don't it?
Doesn't it, though?
Got that bright sun coming up this morning. But we had the bottom drop out of the bucket a few times yesterday over here.
Yeah.
It cut loose. It poured the rain, so I don't know how much we got, but I hadn't looked this morning, but we had to have over 2 inches or more anyway there, so it rained hard at times there yesterday. But we missed all them bad storms they thought we might have, so that's good. And looked like some of the eastern part of the state got hit with some bad storms there, though. And
yes.
Places down that way. But
well, we had a tornado watch in effect for a while, but I don't think anything ever touched down or anything ever developed from that.
No, but
the conditions
wind blew hard a few times, though. It was whipping the trees around up here, but that's about it. And most what we had was just hard rain there, hard pour of rain.
Mm-hmm.
But up here with the fire department, it's been pretty quiet over the weekend. We've answered a few medical calls, had one brush fire call, but it was a controlled burn, so the rest of the time it's been pretty quiet with the fire department. It's quiet this morning. Maybe we'll have a good day up here, and Jim, and I hope you have a good day. And
thanks, Bob. I think we're going to have a pretty good week weather-wise. I don't see any rain in the forecast again until about Sunday, but the week looks pretty good for us.
I'm looking forward to about the middle of the week. Looks like it'll be up mid-70s again.
Yeah,
so.
It'll be nice.
Yeah. But Jim, you take care and have a good day.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it. You too, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
7:31 here on this Monday morning report.
Health insurance is complicated, and with healthcare reform on the way, it's not getting any simpler. If you've got questions, we've got agents. Your local Farm Bureau insurance agent can walk you through the changes and offer you the right healthcare plan with the right benefits for you. Healthcare may be changing, but our superior service isn't. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Well, if you had a little erosion problem with the rain, driveway washed out or the gully washed out, and you need to do a little erosion repair, come over to Farmer's Friend, the Feed Seeding and Supplies, and they got some things to help you out with that. And while you're there, be sure to register to win a Mayor Tiller. Farmer's Friend is going to be giving away one of those real soon. All you got to do is register. No purchase necessary for that. George now is the authorized dealer for Mayor Tillers and the authorized dealer for Mantis Tillers as well. So if you're needing a tiller for the garden, come see the Farmer's Friend folks. And they have plenty of propane, and they've got plenty of things to help you with your early planting. They have your early spring plants, flowers, and shrubs. Number 1 grade A cross ties, 8 feet at $16.49. They have a volume discount if you buy a bunch of them. So go see Farmer's Friend. Make it an easy stop for you right across the road here. Farmer's Friend. The gates are open already, and they're ready to serve you. Until, their hours are Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, Saturday, 7:30 until 2. That's Farmer's Friend, Feed, Seed, and Supply. Now, Cherry Mountain is our next stop with Sue Price speaking to us. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Hope you are.
Yes.
Good. Nice morning over here after that bad day yesterday. Boy, it rained. I told Richard that's the highest I'd seen our creek in a long time. Devon said it was out in some places, so we didn't ride down the road. We just, after we came back from Michelle's, we stayed in the rest of the day. We were just getting ready to eat up at Michelle's with family meets up there on Sundays. The power went off. Somebody said, I'm glad we got our dinner cooked. But it wasn't off but just a few minutes, so it came back on, and that was the end of that. So we were glad it did. Make it pretty good when you have power, but when it goes off, it makes it harder. But anyway, it really did rain.
Hard to do anything when that power goes off. We're so accustomed to it.
I know. Don't know how much we depend on it till it goes off. Well, let's see, I got 42 degrees this morning, and the sun's out nice right now, and looks like we're going to have a pretty day. I don't have any calls from the fire department. Don't have any birthdays on my calendar. Fairview's got a birthday for Tiffany Smith, so I hope she'll have a good day today. And First Broad has a birthday for Shirley Bradley, so happy birthday, Shirley. I hope you'll have a good day. And anybody that's celebrating a birthday or anniversary, we hope they'll have a good day today. In my announcements, tonight is the forum up at Golden Valley Community Club for the Republican candidates. So it starts at 7 p.m. Refreshments will be served, so come on out and hear what the candidates have to say and enjoy some refreshments. So Richard's got 2 pound cakes ready to go, and I don't know what else will be there, but I'm sure it'll be good. Got a rabies clinic coming up at Golden Valley Community Club. That'll be April 21st, 2 to 4 p.m., and the charge is $7, so that's not much to get your animal protected. So come on out if you need to get them vaccinated and take care of that. And so far, that's the only announcements I have. It's just quiet and calm over here, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks very much, Sue. You enjoy yours as well, and we'll talk again tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Jerry Mountain reporting in with Sue Price this morning. It's 35 past the hour. The entire team at Crow's Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you with options available. They will help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved one. During this time, it's important to turn to someone you can trust and depend on. Crow's Mortuary and Crow's Mortuary and Crematory has a long history of trust and dependability. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory. That's 286-2304. We'll start your week off with a good meal. Go to Gregory's for a Monday lunch or Monday evening dinner. Gregory serves up a great burger, pasta plates, grinders, steaks, delicious sandwich, or a fresh garden salad will top off your day with a good, healthy meal. Hey, Gregory's is Rutherford County's favorite. Local folks eat there, and they tell their friends coming out of other areas, we go to Gregory's. Just come on over. You'll find them there in the Park Lane Plaza. Open Monday through Friday, 11 to 9, Saturdays, 4 to 9. Come have a meal at Gregory's. Well, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office, along with Rutherfordton Police Department, are investigating a scam. Young white male in his early 20s, slim with short dark hair, is going door to door presenting himself as a subcontractor for Northland Cable. The subject is trying to sell a special promotion of cable and internet for the price of $600 for 6 months. The subject presents a Northland Cable subcontractor's badge and portrays to work for Northland Cable, but he does not. If you are approached by the subject, do not give him money or any personal information, then call 911 immediately. If you have been the victim of the scam, please report to the local law enforcement agency. Anyone with information as to the identity of this young man involved in this scam, please contact Crime Stoppers at 828-287-TIPS. Let's get that young man off the street. Now we're heading toward Union Mills to get the Cali report from Miss Brenda. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well.
That's good. So am I.
Good.
Glad to see the sunshine. But your long-term forecast puts rain back in the forecast for Sunday?
This sure does.
I'm getting tired of these rainy Sundays. Ain't nothing I can do about it, but I'm tired of them.
Well, it would be nice to have a Sunday with that, but only a 50-50 chance, and by Sunday it could change. Saturday night, an isolated shower, then Sunday morning some shower, but it could change by then.
Well,
I hope it does.
Yeah, I went to church yesterday, and church let out, and it wasn't raining. And I got up, I turned off a Hollis Road onto Salem Church Road, and I got about a mile and a half up that road. Boy, the bottom fell out, and it was terrible from there on home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was water in the road, and pouring down. Part of the time I could see good, and part of the time I couldn't. It was awful, but I made it home, so that was the main thing. Well, let's see. I've got 38 degrees on the front porch. We've had 3.5 inches of rain, and I don't have but one birthday on that. It's Tracy Fleming. I don't have any on around here, so we hope Tracy has a great old big day. And I don't have any announcements. It's just short, sweet, and quiet this morning, and I'm glad.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I don't know of anything going on. So
your driveway's okay?
I ain't been down it yet, but I'm fixing to go down it here in a little while.
Well, maybe it's okay. Maybe it survived.
I hope it did, but we had some rain and wind.
Yeah.
But,
let's check in with our weatherman up your way in a little while and see if we can get how much rain we actually got in the county. He keeps those kind of statistics.
Oh, yeah. Tom's good at doing that.
We're going to give old brother Tom a call after a bit, see if he's available
for us. Brother Tom. It was good to see y'all Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to come over there. We had a big day over there.
Yeah.
Jason,
you did.
Rick always does a great job for those customer appreciations. Slow people come through. They gave away a lot of good free things, and a lot of people got a lot of BOGOs.
Yeah, I got a T-shirt. I wasn't expecting to get one because I wasn't there when the doors opened, but when I walked in, they said, "Here's your T-shirt." And so I said, "Well, thank you."
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You're a lucky person.
Yes, I was.
Always good to see you, Ronnie. You always have a smile on your face.
Oh, well, I appreciate you saying that. I always try to smile. There's enough sadness in the world as it is.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, we need to smile, pat each other on the back, and say, "Hello, how are you?"
How you doing today? There used to be an old gospel song. Put a smile. See, I can't remember how it goes now, but put a smile on your face or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, you have a great Monday up there, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, catch you later.
Thanks, Brenda. Bye-bye. That's Brenda Kelly with the Kelly Report. Over to Washburn Store, you always get a friendly smile when you go in over there as well because they're such a nice group of folks that work over there. And I want you to go by and see them and pick up some Wisconsin June hoop cheese. That's good cheese, folks. If you like cheese on your toast or just a slice of cheese with your meal, that's some of the best. They have rolled bologna. You can also pick up lots of candy. They always have plenty of candy. This rock candy is good, horehound candy. They got a great selection of garden seeds, seed potatoes, onion sets. If you're ready for your garden, go ahead and get over there and get to the fescue, creepy red, and regular. Go see them at Washburn Store. And if you need honey or molasses, they got pints and quarts. It's all good, and it's always a good place to go. To brighten up your day, go to Washburn Store between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway.
The Recliner Center is happy to introduce new styles of Spring Air mattresses. Some come with the cool gel that you're going to love. Remember the days when you could flip your mattress? Well, Spring Air is now offering the flippable mattress. Check out these for a really great night's sleep. The Recliner Center is needing to make room for some new styles of lift chairs, recliners, and sofas, and you're going to get some special deals on the floor models and extra inventory in the store. Now, you always know you get the best deals in town at the Recliner Center, and now's the best time to go shopping. Check on the inventory of new recliners, sofas, and lift chairs coming in. Now, some of the styles have a new water-repellent fabric. Water beads up instead of soaking into the fabric. Leave it to the Recliner Center to offer you the best choices and best prices. Ask to see the new wall hugger style furniture. Hours are Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 2. The Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Whatever size car or automobile you might have, Ellenberg's Garage can handle whatever thing is going on with it, making all funny noises. You don't know what that noise is. Take it to Dr. Jimmy Ellenberg. He can take care of it. He's got really a great piece of equipment up there for alignments, state-of-the-art four-wheel alignment machine. So if your car's shaking and shimmering and it's bothering you and you need to shake it doesn't need to keep doing that very long. It'll really mess up some stuff. So if your car's shaking and shimmering, take it up to Ellenberg's Garage. You'll be back on the road in no time with a smooth ride. Take care of that air conditioner, get your cooling down again. Tires, and they can do all kinds of air conditioner repair, tires, change of tires, transmission flush. Full work of cleaning your car and get it running smoothly is best for you. So go see Ellenberg's Garage. They're on the Lowing Mill Road, right across from the old Gilkey School. You'll find them there. You won't get any better treatment than you get when you go to Ellenberg's Garage. Good people, good service, and you'll be back on the road in no time. Now here's Luther Gilligan in Ellenboro with our Ellenboro Report. Luther, good morning.
Good morning. It's Monday again. We get to go back to work, play in the mud today.
Yeah, man. You got plenty of mud to play in today, I'll assure you.
Plenty of mud to play in today. Won't be hard to find mud today. But it's quiet this morning. Not a whole lot longer. Everybody just getting another week started. But our department rather busy over the weekend. Well, most of it yesterday. They had 6 medical calls, and they had 2 trees down. They had 1 power line down. 3 down out here in Brunswick and Owen Street. And this is 1 week after birthday today. Came early. She had a birthday today. And remind everybody, the yard sale comes up 5th of May. That's the first Saturday in May. Annual yard, town-wide yard sale. So set up in your yard. If you don't want to set up there, come on out Depot Street, set up out there. But now you can't set up in the street. You set up under the pear tree. You want to be set up breakfast biscuits and cookies and brownies and all that stuff. And the water system has a CCR on the website, so you want to copy it. You go on Ellenberg's website, get it. And if you don't have anything else going on down here right now, you have a great day up there.
I missed where you said the trees were down. The trees were down whereabouts in Ellenboro?
The trees were down on Brunswick, the other on Owen Street.
Okay.
Fire department went out, cut them out of the road, got them out of the way.
Good.
Impending traffic.
Good. All right, Luther, sir, thanks for your report, and you have a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm going to have a great day. Take care.
All right, bye. And you can catch Luther in the afternoon with the Afternoon Report with Tom Green also each afternoon. Now it's time for birthdays, anniversaries for the 16th of April. By the way, taxes should be completed about now. Actually, tomorrow is the day because I think there's a holiday in Washington, D.C. or something today, so that we have until tomorrow to actually get them in. So get your taxes prepared. But anyway, birthdays can be called in today for the 16th of April, and we'll have a birthday party, give away some delicious Daylight Donuts in just a moment.
Here's what our customers think about McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC.
I love my McCurry Deck Buick.
I love my McCurry Deck Chevrolet.
We love our McCurry Deck GMC. We guarantee you'll love McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC for City.
I am definitely a McCurry Deck customer for life.
I love the price and the McCurry Deck Customer for Life Rewards program. It gives you up to $3,000 or more in rewards.
Take the easy drive to savings. McCurry Deck for City. Discover the rewards of being a customer for life.
Folks are enjoying the April specials at drop-in stores, getting up early, going to buy there on the way to work, or some folks who don't have to work going by there having a good breakfast at the drop-in stores. For instance, this month's special includes a biscuit special, sausage and egg biscuit. Guess how much? $1.99. Yep, and they have that hot S&D coffee for only 99 cents, and that makes for a good breakfast. You get a bag of those biscuits. Really cheap for the entire family. Other specials include 2-liter Pepsi for $1.59 or 3 of those for $3. If you're cooking out, need more propane, the drop-in has it available 7 days a week. And you'll try the new flavored Sour Patch Red Berry Milkshake. It'll really be good. The kiddos will love that. All milkshakes are only $2.98. Remember, always, veterans, you get a 10% discount all day. Every day. Drop-in Food and Major League Delis are Rutherford County's veteran service-only platinum sponsors. Drop-In is your hometown convenience store since 1981, and they welcome you. And you'll feel like you're somebody when you go to Drop-In food stores. Come on, drop in. If you got pests crawling around, it's going to be time for them to start really swarming and crawling. You need to call Hutchins Pest Control. Here's that number again, 287-5171. They promise to continue doing business that you'll appreciate the fact that you've called them. Pest control business is tough. Everybody don't know what they're doing, but Hutchins Pest Control, they do know what they're doing. Honest, dependable, and on time. Call them to get your home or your office protected. 287-5171. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Tracy Fleming, 52, up in Gilkey. Jeremiah Cash is 14. We want to wish both of them a happy birthday. And also on the 16th, I believe that's the entire list. So we'll see who's going to win the donuts here in just a moment.
Charles Colson, in his book Loving God, tells the story of the powerful effect of one person committed to a cause. In 391 A.D., an Asian hermit felt he heard the voice of God directing him to go to Rome. Weeks later, he arrived in the great city at the time of the annual festival. As the monk followed the crowd into the Colosseum, he saw the gladiators turn and salute the emperor. He then realized that these men were going to fight to the death for the mere entertainment of the crowd. He cried out, "In the name of Christ, stop!" But no one would listen. As the fighting started, the small monk slipped over the wall into the fighting arena and again yelled, "In the name of Christ, stop!" The crowd loved it. They thought he was part of the show. Undeterred, he ran up to one of the gladiators and begged him to stop. The gladiator thrust his sword into the protesting monk, and the monk crumpled to the ground. The last words he spoke before he died were, "In the name of Christ, stop!" And then a strange thing began to happen. The gladiator stopped and stared at the lone dying figure on the Colosseum floor. A hush settled over the stadium, and then, one by one, people quietly began to leave. That story may or may not have made the evening news, but that was the last time gladiators fought to the death in the Colosseum for the entertainment of a crowd. The terrible atrocity stopped because of the small voice of one committed person. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
And congratulations going out to Tracy Fleming, 52, up in Gilkey. Tracy's won the Daylight Donuts this morning, so congratulations to Tracy. We'll have that certificate right here for you to stop by and pick up. Coming up next hour, we're going to check in with Terry Thomas to find out where some job opportunities are. We love to tell you where those are, give you a chance to go out and get them. We're going to check in also with Tom and see what the weather has been for us in terms of rain depths and those kind of things. He'll give us those stats if we get him up this morning. 8:30 this morning, Word of Faith Fellowship returns to the Blue Room to talk about their side of the story. You've been hearing from the national accusers. Now hear from those being accused. No one is reporting their side of the story, and now you can hear that side. This morning at 8:30, Word of Faith Fellowship tells their side of the story.
Mike Rayleigh, breaking news from South Carolina where there's been a deadly prison riot this morning.
A spokesman says multiple inmate fights overnight left 7 prisoners dead at Lee Correctional Institution, 17 others needing outside medical attention. It took the intervention of state law enforcement division agents to contain the riot. No officers were reported injured. The maximum security facility houses about 1,500 inmates, some of them among the state's most violent and longest-serving offenders.
Authorities declared a local state of emergency in Greensboro after an apparent tornado caused damage in several locations around that city. Schools are closed today there. Greensboro police say there was also one storm-related fatality in Greensboro. This person went through the hurricane and said,
I got my dogs and went into the cellar there at the back of my house, and it got really, really dark. I couldn't hold the cellar door shut. It pulled it out of my hand, so I just went right around the corner and sat down with my dogs and prayed.
Former FBI Director James Comey defended his release of a letter to Congress regarding Hillary Clinton just weeks before the election. He told ABC that he did it to validate her presidency. Senator Tim Kaine was Clinton's running mate. He was on CBS this morning and said Comey had a double standard because he didn't release the information about investigations into Trump.
I believe he was not trying to impact the outcome of the election. I think he was trying to protect his own reputation.
The Hardin County Sheriff will update us later this morning on the condition of a deputy shot over the weekend. Sheriff Wayne Coach said Deputy James Eric Cook confronted a teenager who had been reported missing.
We now have him in custody. It was a 16-year-old. He is the one that was entered missing yesterday, and we were following up on the investigation. His name is Mario Alexander Garcia III, 16 years of age.
Authorities have identified the man killed in a wreck that happened on Saturday in Kinston. His name is 30-year-old Robert Hill. You're listening to NCN News.
How can we meet the aspirations of 10 million North Carolinians? At the University of North Carolina System, we do it by harnessing the strength of 17 transformative institutions working towards a unified goal, prosperity for all. Today, the system is united as never before. 17 institutions, individually remarkable and collectively extraordinary. The challenges of tomorrow are too complex and the needs too urgent for any institution to tackle alone. With our new logo and identity, we commemorate our deep connection with the spirit and history of North Carolina and celebrate our focus on empowering students, driving innovation, and sustaining communities. This is our mission and our promise. This is the University of North Carolina System.
The Executive Council of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons is in an emergency meeting in The Hague at this hour to discuss the alleged chemical attack in Douma, Syria early this month, where some 40 people were killed. Lauren Cobato has more from Amsterdam.
UK delegates are calling for unfettered access to Douma so inspectors can investigate if chemical weapons were used in an attack there earlier this month. The UK says Russia and Syria are not allowing weapons inspectors into Douma, despite their arriving in the Syrian capital the day after U.S. and allied airstrikes. They are also saying that the OPCW has recorded more than 390 alleged incidents of chemical weapons use in Syria since 2014. Lauren Comato, CBS News, Amsterdam.
With spring comes increasing farm activity and a word of advice from State Agriculture Commissioner Steve Troxler to keep an eye out for farmers who will be out readying for the growing season.
Good time for me to remind the citizens of North Carolina that when you're on the road and you see a piece of farm equipment, the farmers aren't necessarily out there because they want to be, but they've got to get to the fields.
Eggs from a North Carolina farm have been recalled after nearly 24 people have been sickened.
Roseacre Farms, based in Seymour, Indiana, is recalling nearly 207 million eggs laid at a farm in eastern North Carolina because of possible salmonella contamination. The farm produces 2.3 million eggs a day. 22 people on the East Coast have been sickened, with symptoms including fever, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and stomach pain. The eggs were distributed in Colorado, Florida, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, and the Carolinas. Jim Crisula, CBS News, Raleigh, North Carolina.
The North Carolina Department of Transportation says nearly 8 miles of Interstate 795 in Wilson will be repaved beginning April 30th. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Get your message to the thousands. Call the WCAB Sales Department today at 287-3356.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Former FBI head James Comey speaking out for the first time since President Trump fired him, and exclusively to ABC News.
James Comey met Donald Trump for the first time last January. He told ABC News he immediately compared him to the character he had only until that moment known through television.
He looked slightly orange up close with small white half moons under his eyes, which I assume are from tanning goggles.
It's not the president's outward appearance that troubles Comey.
I think he's morally unfit to be president.
That's a value judgment. When we asked whether there's evidence the president obstructed justice or is compromised by the Russians, Comey said both are possible. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
One of the president's top counselors, Kellyanne Conway, telling ABC News this morning that
I think what really strikes people last night is when you have a private audience with the president, you should use that time to discuss major law enforcement, counterterrorism issues of the day. Instead, it sounds like he's taking notes for a future book.
President Trump's attorney, Michael Cohen, is expected in court this afternoon to argue that he should be able to review all the documents seized by the FBI in a raid. ABC's Jonathan Carl with more.
At today's hearing, Michael Cohen may come face-to-face with the porn star that started all of this. Stormy Daniels says that she plans to be there in court today.
The United States today expected to hit Russia with new sanctions, that after the suspected chemical attack on the outskirts of Damascus. This as Russians are saying an international chemical weapons watchdog group is not allowed into the area until they get an appropriate permit from the UN. The head of Starbucks, Kevin Johnson, speaking out this morning with ABC News after 2 African-American men were arrested inside a Philadelphia Starbucks.
The circumstances surrounding the incident and the outcome in our store on Thursday were reprehensible. They were wrong.
Johnson says he wants to apologize personally to the 2 men. You're listening to ABC News.
Okay, so the big question for any decision you're going to make, is this actually going to work? Well, if you've heard about MediShare, which is a brilliant way of sharing healthcare costs, you may have wondered that. Does it work? Well, so did Dr. Stuart Hoover, who initially joined to save a lot of money. The typical family saves about $500 a month. Stuart saved even more.
When we first joined MediShare, we were immediately going from a little over $1,600 a month down to $460 basically a month.
So that's wonderful, but then his wife needed emergency surgery and the bills added up to $160,000.
So we were seeing the bills coming in, and then the bills were being paid. Portions were being shared, and the end result of this is this bill was taken care of.
Yes, MediShare works, and it's so easy to get your questions answered too, so why not? You can call right now, 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE, 877-26-BIBLE.
Former First Lady Barbara Bush now says she does not want any more medical treatment for her congestive heart failure. Instead, she's back home with family focusing on comfort care.
This is Jim Ryan in Dallas, where visitors to the George W. Bush Presidential Library are reacting to news of the failing health of a woman so many feel they know personally.
Oh, someone definitely to look up to.
Like the Queen Mom almost. It's a very classy lady.
I would hate to have to keep up with her.
As recently as last May, Mrs. Bush and her husband, President George H.W. Bush, were making public appearances.
The president is getting ready to host the head of a key ally today in Florida.
President Trump begins a week in Florida with a roundtable discussion on taxes outside Miami. He'll then head to his Mar-a-Lago resort and stay through the week. The president will host Japanese Prime Minister Abe for 2 days of meetings. On the agenda, the president's potential meeting with North Korea's Kim Jong-un, ongoing international efforts to rein in North Korea's nuclear ambitions, and trade issues. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Authorities say 7 inmates at a maximum security prison in South Carolina are dead after a fight that lasted for hours early this morning. 17 others hurt. Image recognition may become part of the fight against distracted driving. Police worldwide hope to create cameras that see phones in a driver's hand. Offenders wouldn't know that they've been caught until a notice arrived in the mail. This is ABC News.
It's time to join the millions of people that meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Zoom gives you flawless video, crystal clear audio, and instant sharing across any mobile, tablet, or desktop device. But the best thing about Zoom? It just works. So ditch the distractions, join the movement, and meet happy with Zoom video conferencing. Visit zoom.us to set up your free account today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
I'm Michelle Franzen.
North Carolina Tractor Supply, your Massey Ferguson dealer in Rutherfordton, has some really great ideas this year. This could be the year for you to get that Massey Ferguson you've been wanting. Stop by today and see what Massey Ferguson and Phil Sheehan at North Carolina Tractor Supply have for you. Check to see if you qualify for 0% financing. Today could be your day at North Carolina Tractor Supply, Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton.
Well, we have a beautiful day shaping up here in the foothills.
Shower in spots early on today. Otherwise, we'll range between mostly cloudy and partly sunny. It'll be breezy, cooler, and less humid behind last night's cold front. We'll look for highs around 55 to 60. Tonight, some patchy evening cloudiness and maybe a very isolated sprinkle. After that, mostly clear and cold with lows in the low to mid-30s. Look for lots of sunshine Tuesday. A few fair weather clouds, breezy and mild. Highs 63 to 68. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Sunny skies most of the week until Sunday. We got more rain coming, looks like, on Sunday, but every day this week's going to be nice. 55 for a high today. On Wednesday, 79 for a daytime high in sunny skies, and 74 on Thursday, Friday, 69. Beautiful day Friday for the Chamber of Commerce Golf Tournament. Mostly sunny with highs around 69. Hope you're making your plans to join us for that golf tournament at Meadowbrook. Then on Saturday, partly cloudy, highs around 68. Right now, 44 degrees here at WCAB in Rutherfordton. It's Monday morning, and we like to check in with Terry Thomas to find out where some job opportunities are for us here in the foothills. So if you need to know where those jobs are, listen up. Terry Thomas is on the phone with me right now. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. You had a good weekend?
Yes, sir.
Didn't get blown away or washed away, I gather, yesterday.
Almost got washed away.
Well, it was a gully washer for sure.
Yes, sir.
Tell us where some jobs are, Terry.
Okay, we're going to start in the Forest City area. We have a chief building engineer supervisor. This is for a data center. This job requires a bachelor's degree and at least 4 years experience, and the pay depends upon experience. Also need a maintenance technician for a data center. This job requires a high school diploma and or GED and at least 4 years experience in maintenance, and the pay depends upon experience. We have one employer that has various production jobs. These jobs include wire welders, edge bander operators, metal spray technicians, robotic welder operators, material handlers, and metal paint line workers. All of these jobs require high school diploma and or GED, and the pay ranges from $12 an hour up to $16 an hour, depending upon the job and your experience. We also have a cost estimator for a position in Forest City. This job requires a high school diploma and or GED and at least 2 years experience. However, a bachelor's degree is preferred and the pay depends upon experience. We also have a sales associate for the Forest City area. This is a part-time position. This job requires a high school diploma and or GED, and it pays from $10 to $15 an hour, depending upon experience. We also have 2 QIDP program manager positions. This is social work. One position is in the Forest City area, and the other one is in the Rutherford area. It requires a bachelor's degree and at least 1 year experience, and the pay depends upon experience. In the construction area up in Columbus, we have a bridge laborer position. It does not require any experience, and the pay ranges from $12 to $14 an hour, depending upon experience. And also in the Columbus area, we have a production helper position. This job also pays $12 to $14 an hour, but you must have a high school diploma and at least 2 years of production experience. And these are just a few of the jobs that we have available at the Rutherford County NC Works Career Center. We are located at 223 Charlotte Road, Rutherfordton. For more information on these or other positions, you can call us at 286-3042, or you can go on our website at www.ncworks.gov.
Terry Thomas, thank you so very much for that report, and I look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
It's my pleasure.
Have a good week.
Yes, sir.
Now, 9 minutes after 8 o'clock, we're going to check in with Tom Roop here in just a few moments, find out about the weather over the weekend and the raindrops we had falling on our head. We'll find out from him in just a moment.
I'm District Attorney Ted Bell, and I'm asking for your vote for re-election in the Republican primary. As District Attorney, I've tackled areas where the law hasn't caught up to the criminals. We've had numerous incidences where toddlers ingested bits of meth that their parent or someone else in the house has dropped, resulting in extreme concentrations of meth in these children's bodies. But there's no law that actually covers that. The only one that's close is just a Class 2 misdemeanor, the same as reckless driving. I didn't think that was right, so I drafted a bill called Chemical Endangerment of a Child to make acts like that a felony. It has been introduced into the legislature as House Bill 506, and I'm working to get it passed into law. Because as District Attorney, I'm going to do everything I can to fight crime and protect our communities. Please vote for me, Ted Bell, for re-election as District Attorney in the Republican primary on May 8th. Thank you. Paid for by the committee to elect Ted Bell.
Now we have Tom Roop on the phone from up the mountains away, up the road a little ways. He keeps the stats on all the weather conditions, all the raindrops, and all those situations that we might be interested in. And Tom, I know we got a lot of rain over the weekend. Tell us about it. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you. How's everybody?
Doing great, thanks.
Good. I recorded 2.63, 2 inches 6/10 of rain, and also I looked at the computer screen for all the other reporters like myself in the surrounding counties, and they all got approximately the same amount. In certain areas, they may have had more or less, but right here it was 2.63. And that was a little bit low for the month so far, but we still got 15 days to go.
Yeah. Well, that was a lot of rain in a short period of time, though, even at 2 inches.
Yeah, the creeks got up and rumbled a little bit, and was quite a bit of runoff. But a lot of it soaked in.
Go ahead.
He planted corn on Saturday, so he got a nice shower of rain on that.
Yeah, good. I hope he has a great crop. What should it be for the month of April? What kind of is the average rainfall?
About 4.5 inches is normal, and right now we're about 3.5, so we're short about an inch. So like I said, we got a couple of weeks to make that up.
Yeah. Well, next forecast I see has rain coming in on Sunday, but nothing this week at all because it can change. Weather changes here pretty quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it comes over the mountain or up from the south, either one, and it's on you before you know it.
Yeah. Tom, I really appreciate you talking with us, and you have a great Monday up there, and keep up the good work, and we'll see you again soon.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye-bye. 13 minutes after 8 o'clock here on this Monday morning here on WCAB, the morning wake-up call. This is hour number 3.
With today's hurry-up and undependable world, you need an insurance agency that will give you excellent service. Maxwell B. Hamrick Agency delivers the security and service that you're looking for. You'll always be in good hands with Hamrick Insurance. They offer auto, business, homeowners, health, and life. They are an independent agency with 3 locations to conveniently serve you: Main Street in Boiling Springs, Lafayette Street in Shelby, and Huntley Street in Spindale. Call Maxwell B. Hamrick Insurance today at 286-2384.
Hi, I'm Steve Theodoropoulos, and I'm running for sheriff. We are at a true crossroads in our community. We need change and strong leadership. We face difficult choices. Crime in our county is up. We have a major drug problem. Property crime is up as well, and a current sheriff who is not dealing with the issues. First, I will develop a citizens review board so the community has a voice at the sheriff's office. Second, as a retired state trooper and federal agent, I will bring a no-nonsense approach to fighting crime in our community. It is time the good old boy system find a new home. Elect me on May 8th, and I will bring accountability and transparency back to the sheriff's office. Paid for by Steve Theodoropoulos, Republican for sheriff.
Hi, this is Tammy with the Home Medical Department at Smith's Drugs of Forest City. We have a 10-in-1 flip pillow that will help with comfort for sleeping or reading and can be used to elevate the knees, and it can help ease back muscles and is hypoallergenic for $34.99. Come see us at the Home Medical Department at Smith's Drugs in Forest City, 139 East Main Street.
Well, we got by pretty easy over the weekend with all that rain, but some sections around us, east of us and south of us, got severe storms on Sunday that blew down trees, caused airport delays, and knocked out power to tens of thousands in North and South Carolina. About 75,000 homes and businesses were without power in the late afternoon. Duke Energy said about 43,000 customers lacked power in North Carolina and another 9,000 in South Carolina. South Carolina Electric and Gas Company reported 23,000 customers without power in South Carolina. The airport over in Charlotte said on Twitter Sunday that severe weather caused a ground stop and forced air traffic controllers to leave their tower. The ground stop was later lifted. Officials over in Lexington County, South Carolina, posted photos online of a house that had been damaged, while the National Weather Service received a report of the roof being blown off an agriculture building elsewhere in this county. The sheriff's office said downed trees were blocking roads in multiple locations. County officials said there were no reports of injuries. The Columbia, South Carolina Police Department said on Twitter that multiple traffic lights were malfunctioning because of severe weather. The National Weather Service in Columbia said that the worst threat had passed that area by late afternoon as the storms moved to the north and east. Earlier in the day, the meteorologist reported a wind gust of 74 miles per hour in Columbia. However, tornado watches were expected to remain in effect for the northeastern corner of South Carolina and swath of central North Carolina until late Sunday night. Television stations in Charlotte were posting images of large hail on Twitter. The National Weather Service received reports of golf ball-sized hail in several counties. The Charlotte Fire Department were also responding to numerous storm-related calls for trees and lines down. So we got through that pretty smoothly, I would say, considering some of the others did not have that opportunity to get through. They had some pretty rough weather. Other news being reported this morning, Daily Courier is reporting about the probable cause hearing. Date of April 25th has been set for murder suspect Jason Daniel Butler, who was barefoot, shackled at the ankles, and seated in a wheelchair when he made his first court appearance and before Judge Rob Martell on Friday morning at the county courthouse. Extensive security stopped traffic on West 3rd Street as the 45-year-old Forest City man was brought from the Rutherford County Detention Center, where he's being held without bond. Officers say Butler is capable of walking but has some difficulty doing so due to health conditions. In court, Martell confirmed that Butler, who is charged with Class A felony murder for the shooting death of 49-year-old Michael Del Splon, understood his rights and his charges, the maximum sentence for which is the death penalty or life in prison without parole. Butler said that he understood and requested a court-appointed attorney. Martell advised that an assigned attorney should be in contact with him early this week, at least in the form of a name. Butler was taken into custody in South Carolina Monday, April 9th at approximately 7:30 after an incident in Travelers Rest. Detective Jamie Keever of the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office said that Butler and his wife, Shannon Butler, were parked at a Chick-fil-A when Shannon Butler approached the drive-thru window and reported that her husband needed help. When officers arrived on the scene, they found an emotionally distressed Jason Butler holding a gun to his own head. Butler reportedly told the officers he had committed a murder at his home in North Carolina. They were able to talk him out of harming himself, and he surrendered to arrest without a struggle. He was later extradited from Greenville County Detention Center. Shannon Butler was also taken into custody but released the following afternoon. She is not suspected in the murder. Splon of Forest City worked this past year as a handyman for Butler. His body was found Monday at approximately 8:40 p.m. following Butler's report at Butler's home on Chase High Road. Officers believe Splon died on Sunday. The suspected motives in the murder are not being disclosed at this time, but Keever said Butler has a history of methamphetamine use. The Sheriff's Report with Officer Arnett coming up here in just a moment. Have you heard the 3 big lies about Medicaid eligibility? First, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your house. That's not true. Second, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. That's not true. And third, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. That's not true. Please call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Ken Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm for a free consultation and learn the truth about Medicaid and eligibility and nursing home care in North Carolina. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify and not lose everything you own. Call the Arledge Law Firm today at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherford. Again, that's 287-3338. Rutherford Regional Health System now features its walk-in services at Forest City Family Care at 212 Allendale Drive, Forest City, just behind the Tri-City Mall. Those needing walk-in care enjoy the same great services, but now at the new location. They continue to operate Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. The scope of services remain unchanged for the walk-in patients. When you don't have an appointment but need to be seen quickly, we hope you'll choose the walk-in services now located at the rear entrance of Forest City Family Care.
Fellow citizens, let's support our sheriff of 7+ years for re-election May 8th. Candidates that talk the talk have to walk the walk, and Sheriff Chris Francis has clearly done the walk. For accountability and proficiency, Sheriff Francis assigned professionals to supervise each division. This, along with training, changing to straight shifts, and upgrading of uniforms for better mobility, has increased arrest and lowered the crime rate. He increased the 1K9 unit to 4 and initiated a program in the jail to fight opioid addiction. Because Sheriff Francis cares, he lectures on various crimes such as scams on the seniors, domestic terrorists in churches, and how to safely store and dispose prescription drugs. His leadership and management skills were best described by a highly respected law enforcement professional who said that Sheriff Chris Francis is, without a doubt, the most dedicated, aggressive, crime-suppressing sheriff Rutherford County has had in the last 30 years. Vote for Sheriff Chris Francis, the one with proven experience. Paid for by committee to elect Sheriff Chris Francis.
21 minutes now past 8 o'clock. Beautiful day shaping up here on this Monday morning. And right now it is time for the Sheriff's Report. Here is Officer Arnett with that report.
Last 48 hours, Sheriff's Office has had 212 calls for service, 15 arrests, and there's currently 167 in the detention facility. For incident reports, we have a Dawn Wilson, who's reported a larceny of a motor vehicle, a Dustin Craig, breaking and entering a motor vehicle, Marie Hill, assault on a female, Sean Wright, misdemeanor larceny, Thomas Wilson, breaking and entering a motor vehicle, Linda White, misdemeanor larceny. For arrest, we have Robbie Cox, who's been arrested for possession of methamphetamine, Thomas Green, possession of controlled substance in a jail or prison, Brianna Lynch, assault with a deadly weapon, Cecil Butler, breaking and entering a motor vehicle, Jeffrey Buter, failure to appear, Cantera Trejo, assault on a female, Christian Lynch, assault and battery, Dominic Valentine, possession of stolen vehicle, larceny of motor vehicle, injury to real property. Reuben Brakens, voluntary violation of domestic protection order. Sorry about that. Misty Atkins, school attendance violation. And Tori Hines, injury to personal property. And that's it.
Do you need some extra money in your pocket? Try Insurance Service Associates, your local independent agent. We can shop your auto and home insurance with several companies to get you better coverage and the best rate. Insurance Service Associates at 127 East Trade Street in Forest City for auto, home, or commercial insurance. More choices, better coverage, best rate. That's Insurance Service Associates, 245-5301.
Congratulations again to Tracy Fleming of Gilkey. Tracy's 52 and won the Daylight Donuts this morning from the drawing for the birthdays. And Daylight Donuts will be available for Tracy Fleming to enjoy throughout the day today. Also, Bossy, let me remind you to get your secretary's name into us. Nominate your secretary for Secretary of the Day. We'll be doing that drawing next Wednesday morning and take them out to lunch on Friday of that same week with a lot of gifts, a lot of prizes, and special recognition to all of them. So get your secretary nominated. Get it into us real soon. You can fax it to us at 287-7182 or mail it to us at Post Office Box 511 or drop it by here or send it to our email address from our website. Either way, it will be fine. We just need to get it into our hands so they won't be left out. They are depending on you, boss. Stand by. Sports Update is next. At 8:30 this morning, Word of Faith Fellowship speaks out.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. The NBA playoffs last night. The Houston Rockets and Oklahoma City Thunder won their openers in the Western Conference quarters. James Harden finished with 44 points. He scored 11 straight for Houston in the fourth quarter as the Rockets beat Minnesota 104-101.
They gave me space enough where I can get my shot off. I shot it. And if they were pressuring me enough to where I can get by them and make a play for somebody else or myself, then I did that.
Paul George lit up the Jazz for 36 points in the Thunder's 116-108 win over Utah. The Boston Celtics and Indiana Pacers were winners in Game 1 in their Eastern Conference quarter matchups. Al Horford delivered 24 points and 12 rebounds as the Celtics outlasted the Bucks 113-107 in OT. And Victor Oladipo poured in 32 points as the Pacers overcame LeBron James's triple-double to beat the Cavs 98-80 in Cleveland. On the ice, the Blue Jackets are headed back to Columbus with a 2-0 lead after they beat the Caps in Washington for the second time. Pittsburgh routed Philly to take a 2-1 lead in their series, and the Las Vegas Golden Knights, they're up 3-0 in their first-round series after a 3-2 comeback over the Kings. Minnesota is within 2-1 in its series after they schooled Winnipeg 6-2. Assuming the weather holds up today, NASCAR will try to complete the Food City 500. The race was postponed at Bristol Motor Speedway yesterday because of rain. The Monster Energy Cup race was halted 3 times on the soggy Sunday afternoon at Bristol. Ryan Blaney's day ended in a crash near the end of Sunday's first stage in the Food City 500.
We just kind of got held up in lap traffic and let the 2 catch us and reckon took us out. So, sucks, but we had a good car. That's something to hold our heads high about.
Kyle Larson was the leader after 204 laps of the scheduled 500-lap race was completed. We'll see if they can complete the race today because there's the chance for more rain and possibly even some snow in the Bristol area. This is NCN Sports.
The feel of the open road. No obligations. Just you, your classic car, and freedom from it all. The nightmare's over. You use Stabil 360 ethanol treatment to protect your dream machine from harmful ethanol effects like gum, varnish, and corrosion. Rest easy, car guy. Your engine's running smoothly year-round. Stabil 360. Freedom for your engine and you. Available where fuel additives are sold.
I'm Patrick Johnson with this week's Undaunted ECU Spotlight. It shines on softball player Whitney Sanford from Lee County High School. The freshman special education major has been an asset on the Pirates in the Circle with a complete game shutout victory over St. Joe's in her first career home game. In the weekend series versus Memphis, she tossed 15 innings, allowing just 5 hits and 1 earned run. ECU celebrates Whitney Sanford of Sanford and all of our Undaunted student athletes. For the latest on ECU athletics, visit ECUPirates.com.
A first-time winner has taken the RBC Heritage at Harbortown Golf Links in Hilton Head.
Japan's Satoshi Kodara has broken through for his first PGA Tour win after just 15 starts. The 28-year-old charging from behind at the RBC Heritage with a closing round 5 under 66 that to force a playoff with the South Korean Siwoo Kim. Kodara won the playoff on the third extra hole at the tight Harbortown course. Kim allowed Kodara back into the tournament after stumbling home with 3 late bogeys in his final round. Luke List and Bryson DeChambeau finished in a tie for third. I'm Graham Agars.
Just hours after he was arrested, the Philadelphia Eagles have released cornerback Darryl Worley. The NFL Network reports he was arrested Sunday morning near the team's practice facility and that the police used a taser on him after he became combative. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
We'll have a slight chance of some drizzle or a light shower in spots early on today. Otherwise, we'll range between mostly cloudy and partly sunny. It'll be breezy, cooler, and less humid behind last night's cold front. We'll look for highs around 55 to 60. Tonight, some patchy evening cloudiness and maybe a very isolated sprinkle. After that, mostly clear and cold with lows in the low to mid-30s. Look for lots of sunshine Tuesday. A few fair weather clouds, breezy and mild. Highs 63 to 68. I'm Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
We have another beautiful day in the neighborhood, starting out today with 46 degrees right now. Started out at 44, warmed up to 46, climbing to 55 today, and mostly sunny with a wind gust of 22 miles per hour. Looks like we'll have sun all this week, all the way up until Sunday again, with scattered showers returning on Sunday. Thank goodness we got through yesterday's rain and wind without much damage. A few trees were down, but South Carolina and upstate South Carolina, Charlotte area got the biggest hit with all of that. A lot of trees down, power outages. But we got a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Again, right now, 46 degrees. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton. Welcome to the Word of Faith Responds. This series of programs will address the issues concerning the negative news reports. This program is paid for by Word of Faith, and the views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the management and staff of WCAB. Now here is Word of Faith Responds.
Good morning. We're excited to be here this morning. It's another opportunity for you to hear from us at Word of Faith Fellowship. We came on the program to bring you the truth about who we are and what we do. And today is a very enlightening program that we have for you. I'll use the words of my friend Justin that said it was shocking, some things that came out over the weekend. We have with us today Butch. He's one of our newest members of the church. He was a college professor in his early years, his early career, and then he went on into consulting work for the government, agencies, and also then nonprofit corporations. And also with us back again is Justin. He was on the show last week, and also he'd been on the show with his wife. They own a business in the county. They have 2 beautiful little children, and he's been in the church for 32 years. So we're excited. Butch, would you share with our listeners about your life?
You know, I want to start out by saying, Jim Bishop, thank you so much for the ways that you mean so much to a county that I'm coming to know better. I'm new to the county, but I'm so grateful for all the opportunities to meet people who are kind and caring and fair and balanced. You certainly represent that in ways that, as a newcomer to the community, the county, I'm grateful for. And, you know, I'm grateful for my church. I'm just going to nutshell. It's a word that I use more and more now because I learned that at our church. You know, we like to get to the point. We like to speak the truth in love. And so I want to take a few minutes and just speak the truth in love here, Justin and Carol. I grew up in a military family. My father was a pilot in the Air Force. I was born in Lubbock, Texas. And he also flew commercially for the airlines. And through a set of circumstances, we ended up in Virginia. where he was a pilot there at Langley Air Force Base. And, without going into details, we were a family that was churched. I was in church from the time I was little. I went to an independent Baptist church where we weren't even allowed to play on Sundays. All we could do was read our Sunday school materials, and I was a voracious reader, and so I used to go through the vestibule, or the narthex as they used to call it, and I would gather up all the brochures on anything. So I'd be reading about how to plan a funeral, or what to do with bereaved people in your family there, because technically I could read anything that came from the church. And I had a faith commitment that's so typical to so many people, where you raise your hand and you get baptized, and then you think that's it. And we were a family that had a lot of turmoil beneath the surface. Without going into details, there was sexual abuse and there was physical abuse that was horrific. And the line between somebody who's a heroin addict and a workaholic is a fine line. And so in my pain, I just decided I'm going to accomplish a lot in life. And so from the time I was little, I was always somebody that was pushing Carol and Justin to accomplish the next thing. And so God blessed a lot of that. I ended up going to Wheaton College, which is where Billy Graham went in Illinois, and soon after that completed graduate school at the University of Virginia, and went on to become a college professor in my 20s out at Bethel University in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and then started a PhD program there at the University of Minnesota. And from that, had a marriage that failed, and got married again, started a family, and then started doing nonprofit consulting. And through the years, including a stay at CBN where I was the vice president of marketing for Pat Robertson in the Tidewater area of Virginia, I've seen a lot of the church, quote unquote, the organized church, the marketed church, the church that the Apostle Paul in 2 Timothy 3, verse 5 talks about, where there's a form of godliness that denies the power thereof, and is a professional helping churches around the globe. More than 100 countries travel to ministries that I won't name, but everyone would know if I mention them now, were places where I consulted for their marketing, their communications, their fund development, their branding. And so I saw the inner circles of what you would call organized Christianity. The North American Mission Board, the Southern Baptists, the Assemblies of God denominations, and others. But my heart was broken, and I was not following Jesus. And through a set of circumstances, my life blew up, and I started to have situations in life that were not healthy physically or personally. I was not happy with God, and I literally moved up into the mountains at the base of Pikes Peak in Colorado after a divorce that was horrific, and a lot of the backwash from that. And I literally was in a cabin up at almost 10,000 feet, and my companions were 4 or 5 little coyotes that would come at night, and I'd throw them little pieces of meat and have conversations with them on the deck. I would go for a week or two and not see another human being because of my despair and my brokenness and my anger and my bitterness. I let all of those things incubate in me a horrific view of God, a horrific view of myself before God. And so after that, I had an ICU experience that I won't go into for sake of time, but almost died. I was given less than a 25% chance of living. I was helicoptered into a hospital. They said, because of your respiratory arrest twice, you will never put a sentence together so that people can understand it. You will not have any high-function reasoning. And God chose to snatch me out of the jaws of death because He had a plan for me. And that plan involved this church, and I'll tell you real quickly about that. So we have a youngest daughter. I have 4 children. 2 are adopted. We have a daughter from Russia. We adopted a son from Korea who's about to go to medical school. 2 other children. And our youngest daughter, unfortunately, is one of the statistics, but a real person, of the opiate crisis in America. So in 2016, I chased her all over the country, dealing with heroin dealers and crack houses and local police departments and the like, trying to be Jesus to her, and Jesus didn't tell me to do that. And see, I have a rich history of not inquiring of God, and one of the great things I've learned about inquiring of God is that when we inquire of God with a heart that's pure before Him, He will answer our cries. And I've learned that at Word of Faith. I've learned that at the church that is now not just a church for me. It's a community of believers that I love and respect as much as anybody I've ever known in my life. And so I wanted to do something practical, Carol and Justin, to help, because I was so agitated about what's happening in America with all of the people who are dying. In the state of North Carolina, every day almost 4 people overdose and die from the opiate addiction. 1,453 babies were rushed to the emergency room last year because they were addicted, because they had addicted parents. Over 50% of all the foster care placements in North Carolina are because of drug-addicted parents. And I wanted to do something to help my daughter. And so through a set of circumstances, I ended up volunteering at the Bethel Colony of Mercy in Caldwell County in Lenoir, North Carolina. And was helping them start a women's program. And in the course of that, a friend from many years ago, Mike Cohen, a Jew, said, Butch, I have a project I want you to work on, and there's a church I want you to meet, people I want you to meet. And so about a year ago, he brought me down to Word of Faith, and I walked through those doors, and when I heard the praise and worship of the living God in ways that were genuine, in ways that reflected a love and adoration of Jesus Christ, my heart was snatched out of bitterness and brokenness, and I was put on a path, Carol and Justin, that I'm still on today, which is one that is to root out of me the things that don't belong there and to become more like Jesus. And you can only do that when you're in accountable places that are Bible-based. I have never been, with all of the churches I've gone to, consulted for, and been a part of around the world, I have never been a part of a church that is more Bible-based. You listen to one of the teachings by any of the pastors, it's thoroughly Scripture. Thoroughly Scripture. I've never been a part of a congregation, a group of people that worship Jesus more in spirit and in truth than at Word of Faith. I have never been a part of a church or a community of believers that have called me out into a higher standard of rigid righteousness, which I have needed. I didn't need to be part of churches that have 2 sweet little stories and a couple of nice little songs, and you can, with anonymity, slide in and slide out of the church, knowing that your life is a wreck, but nobody ever inquires, how are you doing, Butch? I've never been a part of a church ever, except this one, that didn't come to me and say, hey, you're a good marketer, can you help us? Not one time has that ever happened. Not once at Word of Faith. And so, do I love the pastors there? Absolutely. Do I trust them? Without question. They have unimpeachable integrity, and I say that as a person that for more than 30 years has worked with ministries around the world, tunneling through the bowels of the organizations of churches, denominations, and churches everywhere. And there's not a church that has more integrity. There's not a church that reflects the character of Jesus Christ more than the church that I'm now a part of. And I have no intention, as somebody who's only been here 6 or 8 months, of going anywhere. You know, the Carolina Cafe and the Shake Shop, and, you know, I'm learning all the little local places, and I love this county, and I'm very committed to this county, but I'm committed to Jesus. And I've had friends and ministers and others who have called me in ways that are just so significant. And, you know, I also want to say this. I did have the chance to go to what was ostensibly a fact discussion time here recently at the Spindale House. And, you know, I just want to say this because I want to say it with tenderness but with firmness. It was a circus. I'm somebody that has been paid by governments, businesses, and nonprofits to look at PR things and the like, and I'm telling you that the conspiracy model is fully at work and at play. Conspiracies consist of 3 things. Carol, you talked about this recently. They consist of misquoting things, telling untruths, repeatedly saying this is what truth is, and Justin's going to give us an example of what happened just a couple of days ago as it relates to this. The second thing that conspiracies do is they demonize people. You know, they take people and they make them less than people. And we know what happened during World War II. Carol's a Holocaust expert. A lot of the same principles are at work here. Demonize people and then create an us and them. They're not like us. You know, when you have somebody that stands before a community group and says that this church that God is using to change my life through the pastors, the preaching, the teaching, and the worship, that this church is a stain on the community, a stain on the state of North Carolina, and a stain on the country, and is exporting that stain to other countries. You know, it was hard to sit there and just scribble notes, you know, because it's just so wrong. And when they make reference to the fact that this church preys on weak-minded people, people who are broken so much that they're love-bombed into some kind of submission and become an automaton, I made it a point after the meeting to walk up and to have a short interaction with several of the people who are organizers and just say to them, I'm one of those weak-minded people, you know, I'm one of those people you're talking about. And, you know, I am so grateful, Carol and Justin, to be a part of this church. I am so thankful that the Word of God is our light and our path. And I'm just grateful for the chance to share a little bit of my story. So, Justin, you've been around for more than 30 years, and Carol, you've been here since the beginning. So I'm going to defer now to things that you do in your inimitable way. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about what's been going on here in the last week?
Well, it's good to be here again. This is Justin, and I was here last week with Christian, and then, of course, Christian and Amy came on Friday. And we really are just trying to bring to light the reality of what's going on in response to the community forum that was held last Saturday. That's all we're trying to do. Again, we're not the aggressors here. We're not the ones, as I said last week, bringing the circus here. They're the ones that are bringing these allegations against us. They're the ones coming into our county, and all we're doing in this in this radio program is to bring to light what they are saying and what they're doing and bring facts and data. I'm an engineer. Facts and data speak very loud. Unfortunately, you know, one of the things that Christian brought out last week in the radio program was basically bringing to light these conspirators' MO, if you want to say. You know, the way they get their message across and the way they operate, and he used an example of what they were like when they were children, is that they glorified being able to demonize other people. Well, you would have thought we had set them up on a chessboard, because no doubt when we came out with the facts and the data, Facebook goes running rampant with their accusations against us, and they're not accusations that have anything to do with substance per se or the matter at hand. It has to do with our looks or their perception of our intelligence. It goes back to the demonization of people. That's their tactic. That's their MO, if you will say. And so I want to bring this to light so people understand that this has been their tactic. We brought it to light last week, and sure enough, that's what they come out with. They come out with that. That's all they have, is to demonize us as people because of the church we go to. That's all they have. And so it's just, we want to say this because their attempt has been to steamroll this county with propaganda.
Right.
And we're not going to allow that.
That's right.
We're going to bring the facts and the data to them, and I know they have a hard time facing that. But I've been here for 32 years. I haven't changed my beliefs, Jim. I haven't changed my beliefs. They have changed their beliefs. You know, in engineering, we call that reliability. I've been here 32 years. I haven't changed. They have changed their beliefs. That's fine. That's their business. But then to call into question my reliability and my dependability as a person that has attended this church is ludicrous. I mean, would you like to add anything else to this, Butch?
You know, I'll just say this, that if I can step back for a second and just objectively communicate this, there is a very consistent, methodical, planned, nefarious effort that's going on here. And it's not just because I'm part of the church. If I was brought in as a consultant, which I haven't been, if I was brought in and asked to do a case study of what's taking place, this is a classic example of an organized effort towards disinformation. There were so many inconsistencies, even within comments that were made during the time that we had at the Spindale House. I took about 7 pages of copious notes. And going back later, I almost needed a flow chart because of the inconsistencies of things that were said by people who allegedly were experts in defining here's what's really going on. And every time it seemed they would go to pull the curtain back to say, hey, we know something. We've got privileged information. I was even told directly by one of the people, oh, it'll just take you a few more years and you'll discover all the bad things that are going on. Which really, if I took it this way, and, we're taught not to be insulted. We don't take an offense. We fly higher. We let God's word guide what we say. If that hadn't taken a hold of me, I would have responded humbly as the national debating champion that we were at Wheaton College. But that wasn't what was supposed to happen in that moment. What needed to happen in that moment was to communicate, this is not truth. And folks, I'm just telling you, the litmus test of truth was not met on Saturday. What was there was a circus. What was there was a made-for-TV, television production-oriented, let's just orchestrate some things that start to make what I call arguments on behalf of predetermined conclusions. They start with the this is what we believe and backfill with all kinds of little data points, some of which are just outright fabrications. And you have an example of that, Justin, don't you? And again, folks, it's hard when confronted with the truth. I like to say they're painting with a mop. They're painting with a mop. So, Justin, give us the fine line of real painting here about facts of what just took place as an example of what they consistently do.
So, this is an example of some of the lies that get spread in our county just by one person on Facebook. So, there's a friend of mine, known for years, young man, and he has been charged specifically with removing a campaign sign. Okay, his court date was last Friday, and his attorney and him were ready to go to trial over this case. It's been in the news. I'm sure everybody's very aware of this one. And what's interesting, it's very, very, very interesting, is that someone posts on Facebook. Now, it is court record, ladies and gentlemen, that the judge recused himself. That's court record. And I spoke with this friend of mine last night. That's what the judge did. Plain and simple. Black and white. But someone posts on Facebook saying this, and I quote, WFF, Word of Faith, lawyer, this is my friend's lawyer, asked for a continuance and the next date is for May 4th. That's a lie. That's not what happened. And look at the lineage or the comments that come in, and I'm going to quote some of these. And I quote, not expected, right? Seems to be the norm for anything involving the WFF. Next quote, they hope if they put it off long enough, you will just give up. Quote, end quote. They are just delaying the inevitable. I'm still quoting what is being said on Facebook in response to this lie. They are waiting around the election hoping that you won't get elected, and then they can do what they want. This is a big one. This is a really big one. Listen to this very carefully. Yep. Have it put off till the lawyer gets the judge he wants so they can pay him off. Ladies and gentlemen, this is ludicrous. This is a blatant lie on social media about my friend, pulling us in the middle of it, and then getting people to go along with it on social media and spreading this propaganda. And again, as I said, this steamrolling of propaganda on our county to put us, as they say, we are the stain, the us versus them, and there's no basis of truth here. But this has been going on for a while, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Rutherford County citizens, that I've been here for 32 years. This has been going on for a while, and more than likely it will continue. But we're going to call it out because it's not fact. It's not reality. And we have to bring reality to the table here. This is like some alternate universe that I'm expected to live in, and I can't live in it. This is the fact. Butch, would you like to add to any of this?
You know, Justin, as someone new to the county, and by the way, I'm trying to learn how to speak North Carolina, and I actually have a friend up in Caldwell County who's been trying to help me understand how to do that, because I went to Walmart soon after I was here. And somebody, a person that worked at Walmart, looked at me and said, "You're not from around here, are you?" And, I wasn't quite sure what to say in the moment. It's a little bit like when my friend Mike Cohen, it took I tell people now, Jesus worked on the heart of a Jew to bring me, a Jew I've known for 27 years, to this county and to this church, because I really firmly believe to the core of me the deep-seated, rooted systems and issues in my life needed the specialized spiritual surgery that I really believe to the core of me is only to be found at this church. And so it's like so many of the people who go to Word of Faith Fellowship, we're from all over the place, and we really believe, not in a way that's mystical, but in a way that's God-driven. We believe that God has called us here. And so I'm going to be an active, engaged, productive, encouraging part of this community. It's been my story every place that I've lived, in Colorado, in Virginia, in Minnesota, and in Texas. So I fully intend to be part of a county that to me is much kinder, much gentler, has much more integrity than the swashbuckling, bellicose, bombastic things that I saw in the circus we called a community event this past Saturday. And I feel these things deeply, and I want to share that, with a deep heart. Now, I'm also going to say this real quickly: the best way to determine behaviors, future behaviors, in many cases, is to look at the old behaviors of people. So I expect, Justin, what you have described to be the kinds of things that continue. Outright lies on social media to an unsuspecting consumer, get them lathered up with assumptions, and all of a sudden, you've got a lynching party based on bad information. And, I've been to the hanging tree here, and I've read about the Tories and what happened there. Well, you know what? There's a new kind of lynching that's been taking place, and it's absolutely wrong. When truth is mortgaged because of other people's nefarious agenda, it's absolutely wrong. And I'm so grateful that truth does prevail in the end, that God's word is unshakable. Do you know, I have never had anybody at Word of Faith, a pastor, no one, tell me what to do. But you know what? They have pointed me in the direction of a righteous life. And I needed that, and I welcomed that, and I welcomed the input of people who are spiritually mature for somebody at my place in life who wants desperately to have a life that's honoring of Jesus Christ. And I need the church and the people around me in an accountable relationship to help me get there, Justin. So, I've said this, Carol, to you and to you, Justin, and to others. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine what it's been like to have the drip, 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 torturous set of attacks that are unlike anything I've ever seen before. I said this to the pastoral leadership. There are only two instances. This is the worst example of an ongoing attack against a person, a church, or an institution I've ever seen. The closest comparison that I have through all of my work through the years is the nation of Israel. The disinformation about the nation of Israel. Word of Faith Fellowship in this county and the nation of Israel are the two most persecuted entities that I know of.
Yeah. And what's really something, and I'm going to touch on this before we end, is I was reading a little bit John Huddle's blog, and I have to admit, I have a hard time following his logic. And, I have a master's degree in engineering from NC State University, so you can imagine I have some experience in logic, and I had a hard time following it. It really was really verbose and anything. But he brings out some of the stuff that I was reading, talking about me, per se, and how on the slate to cover will be Justin's reference to his feelings about being persecuted like the Jews from last week, right? And he will break down, this is John Huddle, he will break down why this is a conditioned response by him, and he can be expected to copy his leader. He will espouse her feelings as his own. I get the sense from this that I'm no longer a human, that I'm no longer an individual with my own social security number, a voting citizen, a law-abiding citizen that tries to contribute to this community. I get the sense that I have been degraded to below, and the moment, and I'll never do this, but the moment in his mind that I were to step my foot outside those four walls of the Word of Faith Church, my credibility in his eyes has gone up. But as long as I'm here in this church, I have no testimony. What I say doesn't mean anything. The fact that I was a subject or a survivor of violence doesn't mean anything. He can't address that. He can't talk about that. He can talk about how I am literally a robot of my leader. I find that very insulting, and I have to call him out on that. You know, they framed this whole meeting as a compassionate outreach to me. I mean, that's the way I took it. Like, oh, please, we'll help you. And then when we come out with the facts and the data, all of a sudden, it's like, your looks are bad, and all these other things that referencing our looks, referencing our intelligence, referencing all this stuff. So where's the compassion there? It's such a two-face, and I just have to point that out. I kind of feel like in his mind I'm a subhuman, which kind of goes to the Holocaust. I mean, it kind of fits the narrative pretty well. I think it's kind of a parallel. So with that, I think I'll hand it back off to Butch for the end.
You know, we're coming to the end here, but you know, I just want to say this as directly as I can, Carol and Justin. You watch the pattern of interaction with children in our church, for example. I have never seen a more loving group of people for children. And you know what touched my heart as much as anything is the day I walked through the doors there, and I had two young guys. And I had long, scraggly hair. I looked gnarly. Two young guys that came up and expressed the love of Jesus to a broken-hearted person. It's a church that loves its children, loves its people. I was at the nursing home yesterday. Our church has an incredible outreach to nursing homes, and I watched the pattern of how the people from our church walked around and touched and encouraged folks. And I just want to let you know, let love reign when it's the love of Jesus. And I've been bathed in that love, not bombed with that love. I've been prayed for and not prayed on. And I am so grateful that I am here in this county and I'm at this church, and I have no intention of going anywhere.
Again, we are so honored that you've listened today. Please go to the website, wordoffaithfellowship.org. You can see more videos, see more of our testimony, speaking the truth to Rutherford County. Thank you so much, Justin and Butch.
287-3356.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. President Trump going after former FBI head James Comey this morning on Twitter, posting that Comey lied during Senate testimony and claiming, quote, he committed many crimes. It's the president's first statement since Comey's exclusive interview with ABC News. Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky.
It's possible, former FBI Director James Comey told ABC News, the Russians have compromising information on President Trump.
Always struck me and still strikes me as unlikely, and I would have been able to say with high confidence about any other president I dealt with, but I can't. It's possible.
Comey also said it's possible President Trump obstructed justice when he encouraged him to drop the investigation into former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn.
It's certainly some evidence of obstruction of justice.
The president on Twitter called Comey the worst FBI director